the Cricket Weekly podcast with Adam and Nabeel on the reverse scoop. What's going on, Nabeel?
Good, Adam. Another week, man. Episode 30. We're back here, building cricket in America brick by brick, and sometimes, with duct tape and hope, as we always try to, do what we can.
You say that. You say duct tape and hope. I actually had to bring out the electrical tape on the weekend because my grip split, so I just electrical taped it together. And then I'm pretty convinced that my kookaburra is done, like it's toast. I couldn't hit off the square on the weekend. Like the balls bounce so much on the synthetic that I'm hitting all the balls like just below, like on the other side of the tape. You know how you tape the face of the bat and then there's like a little bit of a gap between where the splice ends up and the thing. All the balls are hitting right there, and it's cracked the hell out of the bat. The bat is so cracked up in that area. Struggle to hit it off the square, but
time to get a new bat, man. Maybe Seattle Workers gets you a new kookaburra, man. Get in there, bro.
Well, I got 24. I think I got 24 runs, something like that, and took 3 wickets. So I'm pretty happy with that.
That's good performance, man. Good start to the season for Adam.
Yeah, 3 wickets. I think 3 for 10. I think off 2, which is pretty good for a T20.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I mean, your performance on the field, unfortunately, wasn't as good as your draft strategy last week, though, Adam.
My draft strategy,
a lot of the viewers and the voters had to go with my team there.
They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about.
So I'm gonna just bring that up just to highlight for fans, where we had ended up with our selections there. You can see Adam's team there. You can see my team there. And you guys already voted and kind of decided here. But again, drop in the comments. Let us know.
Well, I gotta say, only one of my players technically 3 players are currently active. Faf du Plessis hasn't batted didn't bat last week for Delhi Capitals. Narayan had been out for a little bit. He was back today. He scored some runs today. And Dwayne Bravo has been on the bench. They've benched him. So there's no one. Your entire team has been playing. Everyone in your team has been playing, except for the USA players. But they're all playing.
Exactly, man. I mean, I respect your team, but it kind of gives me like a 5th place in the group stage kind of vibe. So,
it gives me an overpaid. It gives me an overpaid vibe. Something gives me
overpaid vibe. Yeah, true.
Overpaid vibe.
I like it. But tonight, man, let's talk about our hot takes. We got a bunch of hot takes.
Hot takes.
Kind of go over and
right here.
And Adam's a pro in hot takes. So
hot takes. We're gonna go head to head here. It's gonna be a debate. It's gonna be a big debate today on the chat to get involved in here because Nabeel shared some hot takes earlier, and I was like, "Nah, bro, I'm coming after you hard, bro. I'm coming hard today for the hot takes."
We need you guys in the comments.
Kick us off.
Getting ready. So let me just kind of bring up that first take for us.
Oh, you got to stop me off with this batters versus bowlers scenario, because that's where we got to start. We got to start with this batters versus bowlers.
All right,
who's more important in the team?
All right, so let's do it. Batters versus bowlers. I'm just gonna type it in here since I didn't have it up. Batters.
Oh, you kind of had it up. You said the batters are more valuable than the bowlers. Something to that effect.
No, the first one I had that I wanted to get going was the one with MS Dhoni, but
MS Dhoni.
Here's the one I found when I think that you were referring to.
Logan
T20 is now a batter's game. Bowlers are just bowling machines with Instagram accounts.
No.
What do you got for me, Adam, there?
False. Absolutely incorrect. Spend your money on bowlers. That's what we have learned. What we have learned from the IPL so far is that whoever picks the best bowler, whoever spent the money on the best bowlers, gets the best result. So the teams that have spent their money on their batters are not doing as well as teams that have spent their money on their bowlers. So like Delhi Capitals, for example, picked up Stock. Stock's been cleaning up, took a 5-fer, absolutely dominating. You need to have someone that can close, okay? Because like what we saw today, classic example, KKR, they couldn't close the game, and LSG smashed them all over the park, scored 230-odd. And Puran and Mitch Marsh and Markram been batting pretty decently. They've been scoring consistently, those three. Well, mostly Puran and Mishmash. But they couldn't close the game out at the end, leaking to 238 runs. And then when KKR came into bat, they had a flying start. They were like 90 for 1 off like just outside of the power play. And then they had a batting collapse at the end. They threw their wickets away at the end, and then they just creeped in, losing by 4 runs. And LSG really got away with it at the end because they were getting absolutely smashed. And they don't really have like the big star power. LSG don't have the star power in their bowling lineup. So like I feel like they're going to fall short this year because they just don't have that. Their batting is really hot, but their bowling is not. And then like the Kings, they can't rely on that. They had to close their game, which they were able to do. Not Cummins, Hazelwood. Hazelwood was able to close for them like a great closer, get the things done. I think the people that spent money on the bowlers, especially the fast, but I'm talking about fast bowl closers. I think that's like the key. Like I know they spent a lot of money on Archer. Well, they didn't spend a lot of money, but they picked up Archer. Like the Royals picked up Archer, the Royals or RCB, one of those. Royals think picked up Archer. And the first game he got tonked, but the last few games he's been absolutely dominant. So I think it's and you can take Sunrise Hyderabad. Hyderabad came out first game, scored 285. And they haven't scored over 200, I don't think, since then. They've just been their batters haven't been able to pull the big gun. So I'm big on the bowlers. I'm big on the bowlers. That's where I'm at.
I think I agree with you, but it depends obviously on the batting quality of these, bowlers, right? Because certain bowlers can obviously bat, and you can have a team full of bowlers that can handle the bat, but if they're just specialist bowlers, for example, then you're not really, going to want to go with those bowlers because if you had a team of Courtney Walsh, for example, right? Would you be okay with having a team of Courtney Walshes over like a team of Sachin Tendulkars, right? So that would be
I'm gonna take Courtney Walsh the whole time. Of course I am. This is a conversation. So during the week, I put out a poll about the video, but if you had a team of all batters versus a team of all bowlers, who would win? Who'd you pick? Who'd you pick in that scenario?
I honestly commented bowlers in that situation.
Yeah, the bowlers.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because batters can't bowl, but bowlers can bat.
That was based off of the
team
lineup that you had provided, though. The team that you had provided. So the differential here is, what kind of players you have, because if you have a Tendulkar could bowl leg spin and off spin, slow swing, medium swing. He was a clever bowler, and he obviously could bat, right? On the other hand, Courtney Walsh was an amazing fast bowler, but couldn't hold a bat to save his life, right? So
he can swing and hit. He can hit something.
Yeah, there's some funny highlights with Courtney Walsh, being super funny batting. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. T20 is now a batter's game. Bowlers are just bowling machines with Instagram accounts. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments, and we're gonna move on to the second hot take of the night. Here's another hot take for me, man. MS Dhoni is holding CSK back in 2025. And I think it's big time. I saw the game today with Punjab Super Kings and the Chennai Super Kings during the afternoon or this morning, and they were chasing around 220. And they seem to be heavily reliant on Rachin Ravindra and Devin Conway. Then they got a Gaikwad, and Ravindra Jadeja seems to be underutilized in that batting lineup. He's batting like 6 or 7. And then you got MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni is obviously an icon of Indian cricket, icon of, IPL, icon of Chennai Super Kings, right? But I think, it's time to hang up the boots, man. Get on the field, get another guy in there. That's somebody young. And the squad in itself, when I looked at it, it didn't seem to me that it was, a strong squad. It seemed to be missing a lot of pieces. So I'm not sure if you agree there, and if having Dhoni kind of be out of it changes anything.
So, you say Dhoni's toast. We'll back up with the batting for a second. For the keeping, he's gained them wickets with those keeping stumpings. Those stumpings were insane. And I mean, today, technically, 27 off 12, strike rate of 225. I mean, that's pretty decent. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, in some of the games, in the game that they were losing by a long way, he scored a lot of runs. And in the game that they needed to win, he didn't score any runs. So,
yeah.
I mean, some days you just can't hit the ball off the square. Like, for example, Vermeer for MI, they retired him in the game where they try to have that go down to the wire. They subbed him out for Santner, and then Pannier or Hardik couldn't finish it off in the last over, so they lose in the final over. And then in the next game, he stays in and scores like 60 or 70 runs and gets them into a position where they could try to win it again, but they lose again. MI lose again in the final over. MI can't chase. Like, MI is struggling for like a closing batter. Like, that's what they need. They need someone that can close or start a little better. You know, Sharma got out for nothing, and Rickleton got out. In the other game, Rickleton scored some runs. You know, if they can hit a hotter start in the power play, then maybe they can hang on at the end. But MI is having a struggle like closing it out. You know, but I mean, Ravindra, pretty good, 36 off 23. Conway retired out. What happened there?
Exactly,
How did he get? What happened?
He needs to be batting up. I think they just retired him out. You know, I mean, they needed somebody to go out there and hit sixes, and they were like, I don't think Conway's the guy. So, you know, Dhoni had to kind of go out and hit a few smacks. But I think that team is
so
lacking.
Bizarre.
Yeah, they're lacking depth, man. They're lacking depth big time. And
yeah,
you know, even they did okay. There. They scored 201, so they're not far off behind. You know, but now on the table, you know, of IPL, obviously they're at the bottom of the table, only won 1 game out of 5 and just 2 points. It's going to be hard climb back for them. And I'm seeing, obviously, I think they're it could be the first team to be eliminated this year. So that's another hot take. You know, what do you guys
think? How does that eliminations work there? Do they like at some level they cut the bottom 2?
Top 4 or top 6, right? They have like a bracket situation where
okay.
Yeah, it's a bracket matchups, and you know, I think it's like top 6, and the rest of them probably, you know, the bottom 4 will get eliminated. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, of their batting lineup seems to be the lesser lineup. And I mean, yeah, even still, like some of these lineups aren't really firing. Like today, Stoner scored no runs again. Maxwell scored no runs again. You know, 1 off 2, caught and bowled. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Marco Janssen got some runs today, 34 not out. He's pretty handy with the bat. But then, how do you say this? AR for the Kings scored 103.
Arya Priyansh, yeah, man, 42 ball, 100, 7 4s and 9 6s. Wow, massive hitting by the guy, man. Yeah, he put up a big total. It was obviously good conditions, you know, as it's always been in the IPL, and you know, CSK has a strong spin, you know, attack. That's where they're kind of, you know, are strong. But I think they're a couple of hitters and a couple of, you know, batters short, I think, in that whole squad. But spinners,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, if you take look at LSG right now, like LSG's top 3 are all international hitters. So you got Markram, Marsh, Puran, right? Starting off the order there. Like, that's solid.
Exactly, yeah.
For them. Like, that they've been consistent at the top of the order. Now, do they have anyone to close? Miller hasn't been batting well. I'm not sure who Samad is. I probably think that's a domestic Indian player. Not sure exactly. They have, and then Rishabh Pant is the most expensive player that hasn't batted yet. So, like, I don't know why they don't put Pant in at 4. Like, there's no reason for him not to bat at 4. Like, there's zero reason. Like, find me. He's getting paid 27.5 crore. Pant should be batting at 4, hands down. Like, imagine that: Markram, Marsh, Puran, Pant. Like, that you just gained another 40 runs. You know what I mean? Like, they scored 238 today, but they probably could have scored 250 because, I mean, KKR should have won that game. KKR blew that game. They were 1 for 90, and then they lost 5 wickets in 20 balls, and they could have. It ended up being 4-run loss, but they should have been able to post more than that, and they could have. And I mean, I think Pant is being overpaid to not bat at this point. You know what I mean?
I totally agree, man. You know, he's I get it. He's the captain, but you know, like he could bat ahead of David Miller and Abdul Samad as you mentioned. You know, and you could even have him open and have Aiden Markram number 3, or have Pooran kind of drop to 4 because you need a guy to come and smash in the last 10 overs or so. He is crushing it. But that's exactly why you got to use your other guy. Who's
I think Pant can close. I think Pant can close. I mean, Pant bats like was he? Pant bats like 6 or 7.
I would
for
rather have a
Pooran
in that situation than a Pant. I don't know. You know, in a closing situation, you know, we've seen Pooran how he's looked in Test cricket sometimes, right? I mean, we get it, this is T20 cricket, but the ability for me, Pooran is a bit better to kind of deal with scoring at a high clip, right? 200, 300 plus strike rates required, 20 ball 60, 20 ball 65. I don't see a Pant pulling that off, but I can see a Pooran pulling that off.
Oh, I think Pant can do that. Pant did it in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. He went ham he went ham, you know what I mean? He scored a quick fire 50 if nothing when they had no lead. They just went for it, falling over the place. He has fallen over.
He's got guts. He's got guts. He's got big guts and big heart,
for sure.
You know, but
but
I think definitely Pooran is the better talent for me. You know, still, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's another hot take. Pooran versus Pant. Who do you guys
better,
go with, you know?
Pooran's definitely better, but I'm saying like they're wasting him, not batting him. They need to bat him up the order. There's no reason to have anyone else up there. So
I agree with you there, man. So that was their hot take on, you know, MS Dhoni. Is he holding CSK back? And again, drop your thoughts in the comments with all of these, you know, takes that we're kind of going through. So the next one we're going to bring up, Shubman Gill is not India's best T20 opener. Yashavi Jaiswal is. What do you got for me, Adam?
That's facts. I mean, Gill shouldn't open. That's factual. Gill right now, if you go to the Titans right now, Titans, what do we have here? They played Hyderabad. Gill got 61 as opener at 43. He actually got 61 not out. How does that happen? Oh, they were only chasing 153. I mean, I think Josh Butler should open. I mean, Josh Butler got a duck just now, but the big debate is should Butler open or not open. I mean, I'd probably have Butler open and Gill come in at 3. And Jaiswal, I mean, he's a young upcomer. I think he found some form. He scored some runs in his last game. You know, so
even Gill did. I mean, Gill scored a 61 off of 43, but you know, and Josh Butler got a duck.
In this game, if you go back in the last game, you know, like I said, but because the commentators are talking about how Josh Butler has scored all of his runs at opener, and he opens in T20 cricket for England, and he opens everywhere else around the world. And right now, he's just in a team where they have 2 openers, and he's coming in at 3. But they're like his strike rate, he strikes over 150 and averages 50 or something when he opens. So they're like, why doesn't he open? But Gill wants to open, and they have this other younger guy that wants to open. So he's coming in at 3. So I don't know if it changes the vibe for him, but I mean, he could open. And then Jaiswal just found some runs. So Rajasthan Royals, right? He plays for the Royals. Yeah, Jaiswal hit 67 of 45 against the Kings.
Yeah, even Gill you know, he's a good player, but I think in an ODI cricket, I think Jaiswal is probably the future of Indian cricket, man, all across the board. Test T20 ODIs
for sure.
He's got to be solidified as an opener there for the Indian cricket. And who else did good in that game against Sunrisers Hyderabad? Man, Hyderabad's down at the bottom of the table as well.
Started CSK, strong.
So the teams that we thought, you know, would actually do good this year, you know, they're all kind of rocking at the bottom of the table, man.
They haven't been able to fire.
Kind of in the top this year, which is a surprise.
Yeah, Sharma 18, Head 8, 100 Klassen 27, Vermont 18. Yeah, they just didn't put it all together. Even Pat Cummins again scoring at more than 200 strike rate. He had 22 off 9. Not out at the end there, but it's one of those things. I haven't seen the wickets, but you know, they kind of just go hard, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, kind of thing. And if it doesn't, well, then you're only going to be posting 152, and then they're going to chase it down pretty easily. So,
exactly.
You know, and Siraj, she took 4 for 17.
All right, so that was.
Yeah, so I'm saying
Siraj has been on fire, man. He's making a statement. He's making a statement.
He's a great bowler.
Big time. definitely can move that ball and seam it. So let's go to the next hot take, man. Next hot take for us. Virat Kohli shouldn't be in India's 2026 T20 World Cup squad.
Wow,
What do
that's
you
a hot
think,
take
Adam?
right there.
Yeah, definitely a hot take,
I
man.
think he's solid. I mean, you see, he
Yeah.
scores runs. The problem is, like, if you were to pick an Indian side right now from out of the IPL to like score runs against if you took an Indian 11 versus a World 11, World 11 is going to win. Like, I don't think the batters right now are firing for India in all cylinders. I mean, Kohli has scored he scored a 50, but it's been hit and miss from most of them. I mean, probably the most consistent would be Rahul. I mean, he's scored. I think he scored an 80. He scored some runs. So I don't know. I just think
Let's
I don't
bring
know
up
what the
let's
answer
bring
is.
up a fun little points table from the fantasy games, right? So
Sure.
if you guys see this table that I have up on my screen, right? It's literally, who is the best performer right now in current IPL. It's on a point system, based off of how many runs they scored, how many wickets they take, and whatnot, right? Like in fantasy cricket.
Yeah.
And you see here Nicholas Puran leading the table, and then you got Hardik Pandya. So how many of these actual players that play in the Indian national team are in the top 10 or top 20 of this list even? Right? We got
Well, you
Hardik
got
Pandya,
who's a bowler.
who's at number 2. We got Surya Kumar Yadav, who's at number 9. We got Muhammad Siraj, who's at number 4. Right? So these three Indian players are in the top 10 list, and Shreyas Iyer plays in ODI. I don't think he's part of a T20 team for India. So that's even in your top 11. You got 3 players from the Indian team, and then you go into the next kind of the list. Heinrich Klaassen, Ankit Sharma, Ryan Rickelton, Jaws Butler, Rajat Patidar. Like who do you see? Ajinkya Rahane at 20, Muhammad Shami at 22. This is like based off of the points performance of what they've done this year in the IPL. And that's what dictates their value, going on for next year's, drafts or whatever, if they leave their teams or whatnot. So
I'm saying, if you bring it back up, most of those are bowlers. Like, so Nicholas Puran doesn't play for West Indies international cricket anymore. I think he's retired, right?
No, he plays. Of course he does.
He does? He still plays for West Indies international team?
Yeah, of course he does. When they call him to play, he goes there. And he wants to play Test cricket. They just don't want to select him. I mean, they have management issues there going on.
Oh, I thought they retired. I thought he retired. I thought he was like Quinton de Kock, he retired.
No, I don't think so. No, he's still
but,
around.
You got Marsh there, who's been batting out of his skin, who doesn't perform in Test matches or in the T20s for Australia, but has done well in IPL. You got Cummins, Hazelwood, and Starks down there at the bottom in 15 or so. There's Australia's 3 bowlers. So Australia's 3 bowlers are in the top bowlers in the IPL. Travis Head, best batter, like one of the best batters. He's up there at number 10. Yeah. And then of the guys from India, but that's Hardik is obviously called an all-rounder from India.
The point is only 3 players, 3 national players from the Indian national team are in the top 10. Shouldn't we see I feel like more Indian players in that top 10 that are in that national 11? So, we go back to that debate of Virat Kohli, should he be in that 2026 World Cup squad for India? Right?
Well, if you put up India's batters, I think he would be like 2 or 3 right now. If you were to put who scored the most runs in Indian nationality right now in IPL, it would probably go Rahul, the guy that plays for Hyderabad, the guy that got the 100 in the first game, and then it would probably be Kohli. Probably Kohli scored at least a good close to.
I feel like if you go with a name and a brand, sure, you can get Kohli in there, but there's a lot of good names in the pipeline that can come that are hungrier than Kohli for the 2026 World Cup. So my
he
hot
gets
take
eyeballs.
Here absolutely. I mean, it's a brand. He brings crowd to the stadiums, so definitely he may make it there, but I think guys like Gaikwad and a couple other guys they had make centuries in South Africa. I think Sanju Samson and a few other players who just been smashing for India. So I think those guys deserve a shot in this team, and should get a go. If there was a choice between a Kohli and one of those guys, I would probably go with a younger lot and kind of make a brand new team, man. Because you see the performances right now in the IPL, and I don't see a lot of the national team names beside 3-4, even in the top 20, 30 of the players. So that was on Virat Kohli. Let's move on to Pakistan a little bit, man. Pakistan's batting order has been a puzzle no coach can solve. Even Einstein would bench Babar in T20s. This is a funny one. Would you do this? Would you bench
I mean,
Babar?
I don't know enough about Pakistani cricket to really say what their problems are. I mean, I don't know. I feel like any international team has merit to win against another international team. Yeah. It's putting it all together and having executing the right plans and right captaincy and the right whatever, you know what I mean? So, and going out there and performing, so.
Well, he's kind of sort of in form, lately, but, in Pakistan, I think do need him, but within his, limited capacity. But I think he's been exposed big time as kind of a limited player. He's got amazing drives, he can play, but he's got certain limitations that, he has to be bounded by. Though he's a great player, looks good to the eye, visually appealing and whatnot, but not a T20 player for me, man. Not a T20 player for me. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen Babar play, but what are your thoughts on him? Does he look like a T20 player to you, or?
I have seen limited. I've seen limited footage of him play. I've seen limited. Honestly, I don't see much of him.
Sounds good, man. Let's get to the next.
I don't follow Pakistan. Just to be clear, just to go back to back to your stat, Virat Kohli right now sits at 8 for most runs scored in the IPL right now with 164 runs.
Okay, let's break that down to last 2 years. Forget about.
We can go ahead.
Forget about all time, right? We gotta stay current.
No, all time. Just this year.
This is last year. Oh, this is this year.
Right now, Virat Kohli sits at 8. Puran, Marsh, Yadav, Sudharsan, Renee, or how do you say Renee's? I can't say his name properly. Iyer, Butler, Kohli. That's like the top 8 right now.
And how many current Indian national players are in that top 8 ahead of Kohli?
Just that one. Rahane. How do I say his name? Rahane. What's his name? He bats for India.
Rahane.
Yeah, Rahane. There you go. Yeah, just Rahane's the only one above him. That's Indian. That's above him.
Interesting. So Rahane's even above him.
I mean, Yadav. I guess Yadav also. Sky.
Yeah, Surya Kumar Yadav. Yes.
You got Sky, Rahane, and then Shiraz Iyer, and then Kohli. So technically, there's 4 batters there. And all of those guys play in the Indian T20 team, right? Sky plays in Team India. He played in the World Cup final, right? So he was there. Rahane, was he there? There. Sky and Iyer was there, and Kohli was there. So technically, we can't really rule Kohli out because right now he's technically the top 4 batters with the other top 4 Indian batters. So technically. And I do believe that there always should be like that anchor role.
Technically.
That anchor role. It's someone that does need to just, if they're in that middle over, just rotate the striker in the middle overs and let the other guy hit. I think that's very key.
Well, he's the king of chases, man. So you can't match that skill. That's unmatched level type of a skill because he does it time and again. So, that skill is there, but I think, it's probably time to give a run to these younger lot that have been just pushing in runs, man, out into that domestic and even international level. The guys have done well because they have teams playing all across, right? They play T20s in South Africa, have a test series going on in Australia or something. So, the talent's all there for them to pick and choose from. But definitely let us know what you guys think. Virat Kohli, should he be in the 2020 World Cup squad for 2026 World Cup? Let us know what you guys think. So on to the next hot take we have for the night. Test cricket should be 4 days max, or it dies within a decade. What do we think?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, I mean, like Sheffield Shield goes for 4 days.
Yeah.
And they're able to score big runs,
Exactly.
So
it changed the dynamics of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it probably cuts out the draw, I guess, a little more. If they're going to play more baseball style, it kind of cuts the draw out. I mean, that's right. Yeah, probably helps the game a little bit because 4 days. Now you can start saying like it's like the Masters. We have the Masters golf tournament coming up. Everyone's gonna be dialed into golf for 4 whole days, Thursday through Sunday. Cricket, 4-day Masters, 4-day test. It's kind of a Masters. You block in for a weekend. You know?
Well, we look at historically, right? Historically, we've seen, reduction in the days and overs in a day's play, from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s into the 80s. And then, now I think that it's time for that change because we're just moving on, with time. People don't have that type of attention capacity to watch 5 days of cricket and come back to the game and have it be a draw. So having it 4 days, and I think ICC controlling the conditions, so there's results kind of forced at the end of 4 days. It's probably the way to go. So giving teams an advantage, like, hey, they can make batting paradises, so teams just pile the runs on. It's got to be done away with. There needs to be support for bowlers, batters. Make a good pitch, either spin friendly, seam friendly, and make sure the result gets.
Make it a road. Make it a road.
No,
I'm
no
all
more
for
300s,
roads.
no more 400s.
My hot take is roads. Just absolute roads. Just build roads. Just put airport tarmac.
Oh man,
in the center. Build roads.
What are bowlers gonna do, man? You were just backing your bowlers on a team of bowlers.
Learn to drift the ball. Learn to bowl like Shane Warne. Learn to drift the ball. Drift and spin, bro. You can spin on a road. You can. Shane Warne could have spun it on a hill sloping to the right.
That was Warney, bro. That was Warney, the greatest spinner of all time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no
everybody's
point
not a greatest spinner of all time, though. Spinning on a flat road pitch is impossible, man. I don't know how.
No, it's not impossible, because what happens on those roads is that it gets dusty and they get those footholds, and you're bowling for the footholds, like that day 3, day 4 spin to the footholds, get into the rough. Like, where did that go?
It's like Karachi wicket, man. Karachi's wickets are like that. Yeah.
Build me a road. Grass.
The morning moisture, right? The morning moisture on those pitches in the dry areas, like countries like Karachi, for example, it's kind of dry, and the morning would have slight moisture. That would hold, the pitch together for maybe 30 minutes of the morning. But the sun is so scorching hot after that everything dries. It starts to crumble, and the spinners will come into play. That's why that area produces more spinners.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the 90s where they'll do the pregame show, and they'd bring out their car keys, and they'll stick their car keys into the wicket. And there were days ago in day 3 or 4 where they would shove their whole set of car keys into the cracks. The cracks would be so big, you could fit your whole car key in without touching the sides. And that's Test cricket. Hit a big crack, jag him back off the seam. You're skipping on. That's what it is. Build me a road, let it crack, and then let's see the batter's bat. Bat in the cracks.
Crazy, man. I put together a small short on, Shane Warne, and I was reminiscing on him last week, and I was like, let me put together something small on the guy, and some of the videos I saw, man, just mesmerizing, the kind of spin he used to get, mile and a half, and rest in peace to the great man. So let us know where you guys land on this hot take. Test cricket should be 4 days max, or it dies within a decade.
Well,
and let's take comments
just to finish off on this. It will die out if they just keep it going the way that it is. Obviously, the Ashes will always be the Ashes, but there should be this whole relegation table system. There should be a 3-tiered system where it's ranked, and you play everyone in your pool, and you get relegated and you get advanced if you play well in that 2nd tier and 3rd tier. And it keeps it interesting before you're playing for something.
Make everything performance-based, relative to the period of whatever that cycle is. So if the period kind of is 2 years, make the ranking for that 2 years. Everybody's on a same kind of even plateau when they start that championship cycle. And, everybody plays the same matches, and whoever, kind of wins, goes up, loses, goes down, but is staying within, a certain realm of, evenness, right? Because we need predictability. And we need to know that, hey, each team's going to play 4 test matches, 5 test matches in this cycle against this team in their group or that team in their group. Make it so it's predictable for everyone to follow along, and, control those conditions where, you can provide an even contest between a bat and a ball. Right. And I think we were already getting 4-day, results in Test cricket. I think 90% of the time, if I'm not mistaken, in the last couple of years. So,
if not
it's
3
probably
days.
Yeah, that's where we're headed, man. That's where we're headed. So that was, that hot take. But let's take some comments before we move on to the next hot take. We got Daryl joining us. Daryl says Sam Ayub should be getting the batting exposure for T20. Absolutely, man. The guy's a talent. And immense. We got Imran Hussein. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Imran, welcome to the party, bro. How you doing?
Welcome in.
He's got a question for you, Adam. Hey, Adam, how is your
Oh.
IPL teams doing?
How's my IPL team doing?
Yeah.
My IPL team. I'm just go to my fantasy league right here. I'll tell you how many points I have. I'll tell you how many points I have. My fantasy league's pretty solid right here. I'll tell you my fantasy's doing. I mean, the team we picked last week, like I said, they're not batting.
Let's remind Imran of the teams we selected last week.
So Basi got some runs. He scored a 50. Netravolka isn't not playing. Hamadan Singh not playing. Bolt, he has gotten some wickets. He gets wickets. Gus don't play. Warner's not playing. Rabada don't play. Narayan, he got some runs today. Patel don't play. Corey Anderson don't play. Alisson, I don't know if he's playing right now. Bravo is on the bench. Everyone else not playing. So it's not like they wouldn't win. They're just all not playing right now. They're all resting. They're just that good. They're just that good. They're resting.
They're that good, man. They're that good that they're not playing. Good. They're like us. They're like us, right? That good.
Exactly. They don't want me in the IPL. I'm gonna cause too much trouble. Score too many runs. Oh, yeah. The whole drama.
You'll probably drink too much beer, man.
Drink too much. That's too much beer, bro.
A lot of money.
Too much beer, bro. Some might be on my green room run sheet. Be like, guys, I need my 12-pack. I need a 30-pack of 4X Gold or Miller Lite.
Oh God,
that'll get me through.
Funny. Got the next comment from Imran. West Indies is who brings Test cricket back alive. We need West Indies, man, in world cricket. Rovman Powell recently, I think, was let go as a T20 captain, even though he brought the team up from, I think, the 9th ranking to like 3 or 4 or something in the current T20 international ranking. So, kind of a head scratcher decision from West Indies Cricket Board. But, we talk about it, how mismanaged that region is, like Pakistan, for example, mismanaged board. So the growth is hampered. Daryl says until they switch the payroll where Test players get more money than these tournaments, Test cricket standards will keep dropping. Yeah, we had a hot take in here, Daryl, where we said that
we're getting to that.
Will overtake. We're getting to that. Imran Hussein, did you see Americans will be playing for Islamabad United? Who, Imran? I don't know. Let us know who this person is. I do know that a baseball player, a cricketer turned baseballer from Australia, Adam, Travis Bazana. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's right now crushing it in AAA baseball, and will probably be making his MLB debut for the Cleveland Guardians sometime this summer, is what I'm assuming. They do need a second baseman,
and then now plays baseball.
That's right. He was a professional cricketer, wicketkeeper, batter, turned baseballer. Came over here, played through the college system, got drafted as #1 overall pick, and now about to make history, man, becoming the first cricketer, I think, to be drafted, as a top draft class as well. So wow. I don't know if you knew that, Travis Bazana.
I didn't know that. That's new.
Travis Bazana, bro. Yeah.
It's new news to me.
First time you guys heard it, man. I'm sure all the baseball followers, that follow us would know about Travis Bazana. I, follow baseball quite a bit, with my fantasy leagues as well. So that's why I knew, an update on Travis Bazana. So thought we should bring it up here.
Here, I'm going to run over my fantasy team right here.
Yeah,
batters. Keepers. I got Samson, Rickleton, and Raul. Samson's got 199 points. Rickleton, 228 points. Rahul, 136 points. Pretty solid there for my keepers. Batting, I got Rahane, 303 points. I got Yadav, 283 points. And I got DHIR. How do I say that? Dehire. I don't know how to say that. Naham. He's got me 211 points. Everyone's got 200 points plus. I got Hardik Pandya. He got me 421 points. Viganesh, I don't know. I don't know how to say everyone's names. Uther, I don't know. He's an all-rounder. He got me 176 points. He's my lowest batter. And then I got Ahmed, bowler, 300 points. Arshdeep Singh, 189 points. And Stark got me 283 points. I have him as captain, so he got me bonus points. I got like over 2,000 points. My IPL fantasy team. It's pretty solid, actually.
Wow. So your team's killing it, man.
It's crushing it, bro.
Killing it. Your team's killing it.
Yeah. I mean, I did a couple in and outs.
I think we should start a major league. I think we should start an MLC fantasy league, you know?
They got it.
Get some of our viewers on there
fantasy. Bro, that's how we know. That's how we got to know that my team is like top tier.
Well, in MLC, maybe, yeah. In MLC, let's see how many.
That was MLC. It's for the MLC. We're going to keep these for the MLC. At the end of the year, we're going to go back and check, and we'll add up who has the most runs, who has the most wickets. Winner, we get the, as I say, take a sheep station. My sheep station. I'll trade you for sheep stations.
I think the next one, what we'll do is we'll build like an all-time T2011, you know,
all-time T2011, bro.
Yeah, all-time T2011, man. You know, we'll come up with a draft board of the best 50 players, and we have to select 11 each, and then we'll go from there. You know, that's the next one for us.
It's just the Australian team. Just pick the Australian team from like 2005. Just pick that team.
Anywhere from 1999 on to like, you know, the next 12 years.
That's it. Well, no, not the next 12 years. It did get, by the time, it did get a little bit hairy there for a minute. But no, that OG team is the best. Give me Michael Bevan. Give me Michael Bevan for 2 million crore.
Hashtag Michael Bevan. What a legend.
Hashtag Michael Bevan. Wait, hot take. Would Michael Bevan have made into a T20 batter? Would he have been a T20 player? You reckon?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. The guy was a beast, man. What a beast of a player.
Closer,
he was way ahead of his time.
Ever.
Way ahead of his time. Made tough runs quick, and just knew how to play the situation. Was a master of playing the scenario and situation, and you know, had Kohli-like skills when it came to chasing big targets down. So, you know, just insane player, man, in my view. The best finisher, I think, you know, all cricket combined, for me, has to be Michael Bevan, man. Hot take there. Best.
I wouldn't dispute it. I wouldn't have a rebuttal.
Oh yeah, because he grew up in their time, bro. So I have a lot of like, you know, memories of him kind of
pulling the days, bro.
Faces off. Yeah,
those were the days.
Great days. So, you know, let's go on to the next comment. We got some more comments. I think the American player was Gus. Gus last name?
You mean Gauss? You mean Gauss?
Oh, Gauss. Andres Gauss. Okay, maybe
Andres
that's what he means. Yeah, he's playing for Islamabad United. That's a big news. All right. He's saying Joshua De Silva might be our next Test captain. That's the champions from last year.
I follow Gauss on Instagram. Maybe he has a post there. I'll check it out.
Yeah, maybe. But if he's playing for Islamabad United, shout out to their GM, Rehan Sardar, who's a buddy of mine or friend of mine on Facebook. So, you know,
where is this team? Where is this team? What is this team?
Is in Islamabad United.
In what league?
In PSL, Pakistan Super
League. Oh, PSL. Yeah, no, I don't follow PSL.
Yep. Well, the season's about to start, man. Season 10.
Season's about to start.
Season 10. Joshua De Silva might be our next Test captain, says Imran Hussain. And Daryl says he made a good financial decisions. LOL.
Oh, yeah. Here. Yeah. It says that he's, Islamabad United, PSL.
Oh, right here. Andres Gauss, man. Congrats.
Andres Gauss right here. Yeah. Just 7 hours ago. Posted 7 hours ago was posted.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We keep about our Gauss checks in and ready. Yep. Right here. There you go. You've referred it here a second.
Yeah. Hey, Imran's our on-field reporter, man. You know, bringing up the news here about Andres Gauss.
Wait, did Gauss get signed to KKR? What is this?
I don't know.
So on his Instagram, he has KKR. He's posted a picture of KKR, and it says 2,000 strong and part of the Purple Army. Why would he post that if he's not part of the KKR?
And there's
oh my goodness, he is
in the tournament.
He's in KKR. He's in KKR. He's got a picture of himself on the bus.
Interesting. So it's not PSL. That's what.
No. He's both. Must be both. I don't know.
How can it be both? The tournament's overlapping. I know there was issues even before this, but
There's a picture of him right there, right here on the bus with KKR, right there on the bus with KKR, and then the post above it is him for the PSL.
Well, it's possible that he may not be getting game time in KKR, so he's like, let me go to PSL and get some game time and
just
play
like
there.
Pal ain't getting no game time.
Yeah. So I think it's a great pick for Islamabad United, man. Props to again Rehan Sardar and his team, man, because they've won I think the last 2 championships, and they have a good strategy person as well as the GM himself. Makes these good moves that are valuable for the team, and I think Andres Gauss is going to do super well. In that team. So let's go to the next hot take, man. The next hot take. Let's see what else we have. We're coming to it right here. Franchise cricket will overtake international cricket, and that's okay. It's already happening, and in the next 10 years, I think, Adam, we only see World Cup cricket and no bilateral cricket, and that's my hot take there. What do you think there?
Yeah, franchise cricket is taking over the world. That's for sure. You see, all these best players are going to play in the IPL. They're making decisions about not playing for their teams in certain situations when they're preparing to go to the IPL. Obviously, the IPL is paying them a lot more money. It's going to be the future, man. These franchises, it's going to get more and more money. It's going to be more and more franchises. Soon we'll have the Abu Dhabi or the Dubai League or the Saudi Arabian League, whatever's coming out soon. We'll hear eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, good on him.
Yeah, he's saying, Imran's saying, no, that is not KKR. That is Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. It's probably the same company, though, right? It's the same,
that's what it is.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. He's
playing in Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. But again, it's the same umbrella because the business model, the business model of Mumbai Indians or KKR, it's the same there. They have a team here in MLC. They have a team out in CPL. They have a team in Abu Dhabi Premier League and IPL. So it's a strategy to monopolize, from the franchise team's perspective. And they also now have stakes in the 100, I believe. A lot of the IPL owners. So, the expansion is pretty significant. And the money is,
some comments over here. Got some comments over here. First trophy coming to Punjab Kings. You reckon this year? Punjab Kings, reckon they're going to make it this year? Maybe.
It's possible, man. Yeah.
And then we got a follow-up to that is Stoinis and Maxwell both failed in all matches. Can Ponting be brave enough to drop them both? Oh, man.
I don't think so, man. When the team is doing good, you don't change a lot of things.
But they're not scoring any runs. I mean, in Stoinis' defense, he's been bowling okay. But yeah, he hasn't scored many runs. I do want to look at that squad. Is Josh Inglis in that squad? Because they should. I never pick Maxwell if I was picking a team because it's just so random. It's like duck or 100. It's like duck or 50. I think Josh Inglis.
Yeah, but he's a match winner, man. Match winner. I like match.
Yeah, but he's not winning the matches. He's not winning all the matches. Winning one match isn't all the matches. You need someone to win all the matches.
That's why he's got a team around him, right? That's why he's got a team. It's not all on him, bro.
But did they win, bro? But did they win?
True. I get it. The champion himself, DJ Bravo, did not like what West Indies did to our T20 captain. Yeah, man. We talked about this, man. It sucks. It sucks what happened to Robin Powell. He's a decent captain, but he needs to improve his game, I think. He's a one-dimensional player. I think he lacks the quality of playing against spin bowling in particular. Can smash quicks, but I've seen him kind of just freeze himself when he is facing up to a quality spinner. So I think that's the problem with a lot of the West Indian players. And that could be another hot take, man. Another hot take. West Indian players are bad at playing spin bowling. Besides Brian Lara, he's the best player they had was the player of spin, Brian Lara. But nowadays, I don't see a lot of quality in them playing spin. What do you think there, Adam?
I don't watch enough West Indian cricket to know if they can.
No? Oh, come on, man.
Puran hits him.
Are you a fan of cricket? I don't know about West Indies cricket, bro.
Well, how much cricket do you think I watch over here? How much cricket I watch over here?
24/7? We're crazy.
No, I don't watch cricket. I wish I could watch cricket 24/7. If someone's gonna pay me to sit down and watch
Same here.
cricket all day, I'd buy all the televisions in the world and just have it. I'll be dialed into every game ever.
Yeah, virtual reality style, man. We'll have those
Virtual
big metal
reality
goggles
style.
and
Yeah, I'll just live stream on Twitch every day. I'd live stream every day on all the platforms, just
that'd be
commentating and
sweet, man.
covering the cricket. But we're not there yet. We don't make enough there yet. Soon, one day we'll have enough.
We're getting there, bro. We're getting there. But this was our hot
next
take.
year. Next year's goal is just to have all the TVs and just sit all day on the couch and drink.
There you go, man. Big room like John Boy, and have 5 TVs.
That's
sit there
right.
with big
That's
couches and a green screen and just chilling
next
there.
year, bro. Next year.
Yeah. No, we got it, bro. Inshallah, we got it. Right. So let's go to the next one. We got next hot take. MLC is already a better viewing experience than half the PSL and BBL games combined.
Ooh, no.
What do you got for me, man?
So Big Bash is just absolute like cricket core. Like you can't beat the Big Bash for production value. Like even the production value of BBL is better than IPL. Like even though IPL is bigger, production value of the BBL is like top tier. Like it's the top tier. Like it's the video qualities on point, commentary, flamethrowers, obviously maybe in the stadium experience is probably better in the IPL for sure with the crowds being bigger. But I think the viewership experience, I think BBL just looks crisper. And I had never watched a game on PSL in my life, so I couldn't tell you. The MLC problem with it not looking as great is because when we were playing at North Carolina, no one's there. The stadiums aren't big, so the atmosphere is lacking. But hopefully, when we're going to the Coliseum in Oakland, it will be epic. That will be like an epic, sight to see with the crowds all there and the stadium there, and hopefully they have a little bit of upgrade with the TV quality, not just have 2 guys on iPads filming from each end. Obviously it's a little bit more production than that. I kid, but the production value obviously isn't as big as it is in the Big Bash and the IPL.
No, absolutely. I think quality wise of video quality and things like that, I think you're on point there. Viewingship is still better in BBL, and I think MLC PSL still pretty good, but MLC's got a few tick of upgrades, and I think they covered that in the next couple of years. By season 4, season 5, we continue to see the betterment in the entire process of viewership to sales to stadiums being full, and we'll go to the next hot take since you brought up Oakland. The Oakland Coliseum will become the most iconic American cricket venue ever. I think absolutely on point. Yeah, it will. It's going to become historic, and we'll see a lot of cricket in the future there at Oakland Coliseum. We got some comments coming in. Let's see. Darren Sammy's asking some of our top players if they want to play Test cricket. Interesting. Our number 1 batsman might play Test cricket, Nicholas Pooran. We were just talking about him. So, if they get him to play Test cricket, that'd be good. If the CPL and MLC come together, both of them can take over franchise cricket world. That's a hot take, but I don't know if that's something that I agree with. What do you think,
Caribbean? Is that the Caribbean League they're talking about?
CPL, yeah, Caribbean Premier League, yeah.
Okay, which is different than the global Super League.
I don't know if they make it,
Well, they have shared players, kind of.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a good idea, actually. It's a good idea to grow, collaborate and kind of do something, but
that's how they make the league bigger. They can make the league bigger. How many teams are in the CPL? 6 or 8 or so?
CPL is like, I think 8 teams now, 6 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. And
yeah, I mean, there's no reason whether they couldn't have the 2 franchises play off against each other. You know what you could do? Yeah, you can make it like American League conferences.
That's right.
You can have a conference system. You can play the MLC and then play the CPL, and then you bracket up towards the end. The top 2 teams play a Final 4 kind of thing.
That's a really good idea, like a college system, right?
Yeah,
that'd be good.
There you go.
That'd be pretty nice. Yeah. And he's got a good point here. He says former chairman of Cricket West Indies is the CEO of MLC, which is, good point. And he's got a connection there. So, some good workings here, man. Some good ideas brewing here. I like it. I think with cricket being played in Oakland, it's something major for the American sport. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. You're on point. And Jamaica got kicked out of the CPL and Antigua comes in. So Jamaica got kicked out probably because of the corruption. I'm sure that it's there as well in their team. Yeah, dude, Jamaica. I've heard some stories. So I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me know.
I don't know
in the comments before we get canceled.
I don't know enough about it to comment, but I don't have all those TVs set up yet.
But that was our segment on going through the unpopular opinions or the hottest takes.
Wow, that was the whole podcast.
For us. That was almost the whole podcast. It was fun. It was fun getting through most of them. What else we had to cover? I think we covered a lot with with what we did. But let's go through like a mid-season power rankings for 2025 season from the IPL. I'm gonna bring up on.
Where's the ladder right here? At the ladder? Here we go.
I got the current standings up. Power rankings are up. Who are we seeing as the winner of this year's IPL? Adam is the question.
Well, so
let's take some predictions.
I'm gonna do my overrated, underrated here. So okay. I feel like Delhi Capitals solid. I think they're probably gonna win the thing. I think they have the solid team. Okay. Titans, I think right now are inflated. They're inflated right now against. They shouldn't be at number 2. I don't think they'll end up at number 2. I think they're kind of inflated right here. So the wins doesn't say who they're versing, but who they were against. But their next games are the Royals, LSG, and DC. So I feel like they will probably lose their next 3 games. Honestly, like the LSG game will probably be the closest of those games, but they'll probably lose the next 3. Yeah. RCB pretty good right now. I think again, Delhi Capitals probably has the rub over them, so they'll probably lose the next game. The Royals, I think they already played the Rajasthan Royals. I'm pretty sure. I don't know which game if they won or lost that game, but they also have the Kings there. So I think the RCB, the Kings, and where are Rajasthan Royals? Where are they? Where are they going?
Rajasthan Royals at 7.
Oh, sorry, it's the blue symbol. It throws me off.
Yeah.
I think those 3 teams are probably gonna make the top 4. I feel like the Knight Riders. I think Titans come down. I think the top 4 end up being Delhi, RCB, Kings, and the Royals. That's I see as my top 4. And then Titans, Lucknow, KKR kind of coming in there, and then kind of at the end is kind of be what it looks like, because Sunrise Hyderabad, if they can't bat, they can't bat.
Yeah,
that's kind of what. And the Kings just don't have enough batting power. Also, the Mumbai Indians can't chase right now, so that's what they're struggling with.
Who you got winning the whole thing?
Right now, I think the Capitals have the strongest team. Honestly,
Capitals, you got winning the whole thing. I think. I mean, it's probably. For me, either Punjab Kings or Royal Challengers Bangalore, RCBs.
I think RCB is probably I'm going to take a head.
I think Virat Kohli, the only thing he's missing is an IPL title right off of his stellar career. So I think he gets it in 22. I think he gets it in 2025, man. Or if not, at least he could. I think Punjab Super Kings is my second choice that I think. But Delhi Capital is definitely the strongest team looking right now. But we got 5 teams at 6 points each.
Lucknow could do some work. Is there any mid-season trading or anything in this stuff, or no?
No trading.
Trading.
I don't believe so. Yeah. But I'm sure you can bring in players if somebody gets hurt or you need to pick somebody up from free agency, for example.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to see like their full squad. I want to look at the full squad for LSG because I want to see what they have in like their bowling depth, because that's the thing that I'm concerned about, is like how much bowling they have. Squads. Here we go. I'm looking at the squad right now for LSG because they have, obviously their batting right now is number 1. They're crushing it in their batting, but their bowling is probably not the greatest. So for bowlers, see they have Let's have a look here. There's only have one international bowler in their team, which is Shamar Joseph.
Yeah,
Everyone
LSG.
else is domestic.
And he's probably bench. Is he on the bench? Is he getting games or is he on bench riding?
No,
I'm not even sure.
Yes, I'm saying bench. Yeah, bench. That's what I'm saying. So the bowling attack is Mohsin Khan. Oh, he's withdrawn. So you have Yadav. These are all their whole squad of bowlers are all domestic bowlers. Because Mitch Marsh is like an all-rounder, but he doesn't bowl. He can't bowl. He's declared that he can't bowl. And Markram hasn't been bowling. They won't bowl Markram and they won't bowl Mitch Marsh. So they're technically just batters that aren't bowling right now. Everyone else is just a domestic player. So that's what I think LSG is going to fall short. They've put all their money into their batters, spent all their money on punt, and the rest of their money has just been domestic bowlers. So I think if their domestic bowlers can bowl decent, okay, but I don't think they have that star power, that striker in there that can really close a game for them. I think that's where they're going to probably fall short, is in their bowling department. Whereas I think the Challengers and the Royals, I think probably have better bowling depth than even like the Kings. Where's Hazelwood? Is he with the Kings? I'm pretty sure. Or is he with
no, Hazelwood is with Sunrisers, right? Or no, he's with another team. I had him up here. 1 second.
Let's have a look.
Is he with Gujarat Titans, maybe?
We've lost him. No, I'm pretty sure we've lost where he goes. Let us know where Hazelwood is. Where's Hazelwood?
Oh no, that's Pat Cummins. That's in Titans. I'm not sure where Hazelwood is.
I've lost him.
But we got some comments, who I haven't seen played for Lucknow Super Giants from Joseph. Yes.
Oh, Hazelwood's playing for RCB. Yeah. RCB.
RCB. Okay. Yeah. Imran says, "Hey Adam, what is happening to your Australian captain in the IPL?"
Who's my Australian captain?
Apparently,
Cummins. Cummins, right?
Yeah,
is the
I think
captain?
that's what he's talking about.
Well, he's right now. He has a strike rate of like 300 in the IPL. He's crushing it with the bat. I don't know if he can bowl, but the thing is that
everybody's a batsman in the IPL. Hot take.
Everyone's a batsman in the IPL. Well, he scored. He went out to bat. He's faced 4 balls the other day. He scored 3 sixes and then got out, and then and that was his 4 balls. And today he hit with a 200+ strike rate. So I mean, that definitely needs to be rephrased to your captain. He's definitely not my captain. My captain is Ricky Ponting, and
rephrase it, Imran.
My captain is Steve Waugh. That's my captain.
Steve Waugh.
Steve Waugh is my
CSK,
captain.
What the hell are we doing? Dhoni needs to retire.
I don't know what they're doing. They need to bat. They need some batters. Yeah. There needs to be mid-season trades. If there's mid-season trading, like this changes the game for IPL. I think there should be mid-season trades.
I think so too. Daryl says
it should
Punjab
be like
or LSG.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, so Daryl says Punjab or LSG. That's some good picks. Imran, the South African, goes back home for personal reasons, so Gujarat will miss them. I saw the news. Which player was he? Heinrich Klaassen.
What happened to Klaassen?
Right? I think he had to leave the tournament for some personal reasons. I'm not sure if it was him or.
Didn't he just bat? No, he just batted yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I saw the news. I saw
right here. He batted 27 of 19.
Was it Klaassen or was it somebody else? I saw this news like a few days ago. So Imran, let us know in the comments who that was, man.
This was match 19. So
yeah. Daryl says, I feel they bring in Shamar Joseph as a surprise bowler. Technically, I think they should give him a shot, man. He's a X factor and got pace, fire. He's a live wire on the field. I think can make a big impact. Imran says, I forgot to tell you, Pakistan Cricket need the head coach who helped them in 2022. Was it Mickey Arthur? I'm thinking maybe. To the chairman of Pakistan Cricket, stop using coaches like a pack of cards. It's more like a pack of dictionary or a pack of encyclopedia, man. Pack of cards is only 52. So they're way past that. Let's go to the next one. The Australian captain is still the captain for Sunrisers. Is he talking about Pat Cummins?
That is true. Yeah, so Pat Cummins. Yeah.
No, he's talking about Rabada. Yes, that's right. It was Kagisa Rabada who left the tournament for personal reasons.
Oh.
I think those. What could those personal reasons be? Do you know Imran, or do you know anybody out there?
you
know,
let's find out
drop
the.
them.
Give me
Whenever
the
I hear that
personal
reason,
reasons.
right?
Find
Whenever
me
I
out the
hear that
personal
reason,
reasons.
it's something like, man, something else is up, So,
so
yeah,
here's
that
a
was the
stat
power
for you.
ranking.
Here, I got a stat for you here. So yeah, LSG lost the game that LSG lost. Okay. Mitch Marsh got out for a golden duck. They were only able to post 171. And then the Kings were able to chase it down. So like that top order looked like this. Markram 28 of 18, Marsh golden duck, Puran 44 of 30, Rashad Pant 2 of 5. And then Bedoin and Miller and Samad got some runs at the end to scrape him over to 171. But see, that's the point. Is if your batting side doesn't fire, you only end up with 170 runs on the board. That's how it works. That's what's happening. If your top order doesn't fire, you get 170, and then the team coming in to bat second is going to chase it down. If your team tees off and does get over 200, it has been hard to chase it. You know what I mean? So that's the big balance in all this, because the Kings are able to beat LSG, and LSG's been able to put up 200 runs in every other game. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
238 they put up, 203 they put up, and then the other game they lost, but only posting 170.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Who do you got? Let's go through some of the biggest underachievers, MVPs for batting, bowling, impact player, and one team that could sneak into the playoff.
I think Raul for Delhi Capitals is underrated. I feel like he's one of the best batters India has and one of the best batters the Capitals have. I mean, that lineup's pretty good. I would like to have that lineup fully locked in with Faf du Plessis and him batting together. I don't think they've had a day where they've put both of them on the squad at the same time. I could be wrong, but in match 17, Raul scored 77, and there was no Faf du Plessis. Instead, they had Jake Fraser McGurk. I think they should sack Fraser McGurk. And I said I wish they could buy someone else instead. I'd rather them pull Rickleton off MI, technically, because the Orcas and the Delhi Capitals are the one under the same umbrella. So I think the Delhi Capitals need a better opener. And so Faf du Plessis should be there. They should be opening with Raul, and Faf du Plessis should be opening for the Delhi Capitals. If they want to bring Fraser McGurk in, I want to experiment with him coming in at like 5 or 6. I want him to be like Tim David, because Tim David right now is batting at 8. Okay, and I've been very harsh on Tim David. I've been harsh on him during most of the stuff with Australia during the T20 World Cup, being like he doesn't score enough runs. But coming in at 8, he scored 30. He scores like 32 off 10. Like he's been scoring like 20 or 30 runs off like 10 to 15 balls, which is impactful at the end of the game.
Yeah.
If he's going to come in, that's fine. So I think Fraser McGurk, should stop opening because he's not scoring runs 1, 2, or 3. I think put him down at 6, 7, or 8 and have him swing at the end of the game. And I think that's going to be better for him, because right now he's wasted at the top of the order. I want to see the other Capitals, Faf du Plessis and Raul opening the batting. That's what I want to see. And then Fraser McGurk can come down 6, 7, or 8 down there. Or if they don't need him, sub him out. Yeah. He could be the one that they switch out, because they've been scoring a lot of runs without him. So
yeah, no, absolutely, man. I think you're on point there. And for me, I think the biggest underachiever so far has to be Rishabh Pant, with not really getting opportunities, but mostly paid, but nothing to show for so far. And MVPs for me, across the board, if I had to name 2 players for this year, it'd be Nicholas Puran and Hardik Pandya. Pandya is always is
for sure
performer with a bat, ball in the field. He's a leader, and he's made impact for India at the national level. Making waves within that T20 team or ODI team, and the passion. So I think hot take I would end with is that Hardik Pandya right now is India's most valued player. Is not Kohli, is not Sharma, is not your spinners Yadav or Jadeja even. But I think it's a Hardik Pandya if he stays fit, or Bumrah even. I think he's ahead of Bumrah. Because what he brings is balance to this team, and if you take out a Pandya without his performances, a team starts to look kind of weak. So I think those are my options.
On the first shot punt, he's played 5 games. Well, sorry, he's been in 5 games. He's batted in 4, and he scored a total of 19 runs in 4 games.
Yeah,
a duck.
27.5 crores, bro.
27.5 crores. He's going 19 runs. He's going at like 1.5 crore a run.
Yeah, I was gonna do the calculations right now.
1.5 crore a run.
Cost of per run. That's crazy. And I think one team
is that $1 million. Is how does that work out in millions of dollars?
You divide it by 27.5 crores. It's like 2.7 million rupees, I think. Yeah, 2.7 million. So if we kind of go with the numbers here, and divide that by how many runs he scored? 19
runs.
I think about 150K per run.
150,000 Ks per run. I like that. That's nice. That's nice.
That's what it is, man. And one team that can get in. From the bottom, if you had to pick one team that you think
team from the bottom,
can come back, who would that be?
Probably Sunrise
One team that can come back.
Sunrise Hyderabad, yeah. If Sunrise Hyderabad fire when they're batting, if they're batting fires, because like right now, LSG's batting is firing, right? So they're keeping in the team, keeping in. If Sunrise Hyderabad batting actually fires, then they will win. But their batting hasn't fired. It's like 1 of 5 or 1 out of 4 batting fire. So that's the issue for them, is that they're batting all fires.
Absolutely, man. Let's go through some final comments here. Imran's got some comments out here. Let me see. Where do we stop? We stopped right here. He says Williamson will miss the first 5 games of PSL because he will be doing commentary for IPL. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that. Cool. David Warner comes in as captain for the Kings. I knew that. That's good. The team who have the best batting lineup for this year's PSL is the team who Babar Azam is playing for. Is it Peshawar Zalmi, if I'm not mistaken? I think that's where he played last year. He's playing for another team. Let me know. I could be mistaken. Multan Sultan have 3 West Indies player. Yeah, they always get, West Indies players, as well as Karachi Kings, I think, should have a few as well. And Imran Hussain says, this is my opinion. Travis Head and Mohammad Shami should open the bat. And Mohammad Shami, what Mohammad Shami is talking about? The fast bowler?
I don't know. Maybe
it's his hot take.
It's his hot take.
Hey, it's what it is. And for the Rajasthan Royals, I will have Shimron and Samson open the batting. Good, I like it, man. Some good picks there, and I think we've gone through mostly what we had for our night. Adam, you got anything else, man, to finish it off tonight?
That's it. I mean, I'm pretty dialed in here. IPL, we're gonna see where this thing ends up. I think my take is Delhi Capital. I think is taking this thing all the way this year.
Let's see, man. Let's see. I think Delhi Capitals, or I think RCB, as I said. So let's see who ends up there, and that's our predictions for this year's IPL. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Make sure to check out our links in the description. Check out the Reverse Group shop if you want to support youth cricket development at the grassroots level. Our local season starting here, in Connecticut. So Adam and I will obviously get super busy with cricket on Saturdays and Sundays. We're going to try and bring you guys, a lot of short form content as well through local cricket from Connecticut, from New York. So you can follow Adam on Instagram. You can follow me, Nabeel Khan Cricket, on Instagram. I'll drop those links in the comments for you guys. And let's grow cricket together, man, without duct tape and hope. Make it predictable. So that's what we had. Yeah, that's what we had. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And have a good night from Nabeel and Adam here on the Reverse Scoop. Thank you.